welcome back. If you were here earlier this morning, welcome back. And if you were not joining us this morning, then happy you're here. We're on to the next chapter in our playthrough of the ROM hack Order of the Crimson Arm, a Fire Emblem ROM hack. And we're going to see what's up next. We just destroyed some Inquisition folks, and now we're going to see what kind of battle we've gotten ourselves into. Whew, this is looking way bigger than I thought it would. Getting cold feet, Captain? Not in your life. Brave men and women of Ostrich, it begins today. Today we shall become the hammer that forges a new future for our homeland. Now, my soldiers, charge! Oh, how frail can I make this guy sound? Hey, Cake, it's been 64 years, or if you were counting, just a couple of hours. But that's alright. We're back. We're back and we're live. Oh look, this guy's got purple hair. Commander Vincent, the force that was spotted is attacking. What? What could it mean? Quickly, sally forth all the defenders. We shall not let this castle fall. He seems like he would have that kind of voice. Wah! There's no end to them. Captain, there's an opening to the left. Men, we're breaking through. What's with this terrain? It's woods. It seems that this is a veritable maze. Captain, I suggest we assign group leaders just in case we end up separated from each other. Aw, group mom. Well, that was a short cutscene. I guess that's appropriate, seeing as it was a short break between the last stream and this one. But now we get to check the map and figure out what's going on here. Okay, we're split up. We're split up. We gotta do this. Yes, this is right after the town thing. So we just dealt with them, and suddenly we're out here, and we gotta take this guy out, Vincent. And he also has Drake. Drake is a very prominent dude in Fire Emblem, apparently. Yeah, this is right after it, so wasn't much of a cutscene. Let's figure out what we want to do here. So we gotta cover a lot of distance. Vincent seems too smug for this. Yeah, I feel like he's pretty smug. So we want to take people who can move pretty far. So that'll be the Cavs. I guess we can bring Curtis. Well, let's look at the units we have to go up against real quick. I'm gonna do this for a second. It's a pretty decent mix, so it won't really make much difference. I would like some additional... Oops. Oh no, I just hit start fight. I didn't mean to do that, but we're we're doing it live. I guess we're... Okay. Yeah, that wasn't intentional. Wrong button. Mispress. But we're just gonna deal with what was standard here for glory. Yeah. Hopefully we don't die. I don't know that this would be, this is definitely not optimized with that misclick. I get confused because the R button and the start button are on the same finger on my controller, and I pushed the wrong one. I pushed start and I meant to hit R, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. We will deal. Trade. Item. Whoop. Did it again. So 7 speed, 14 attack. We won't get doubled, and that's the important part. We're just gonna hang out here for a sec. And yeah, well, I guess we're gonna deal with these guys over here as best we can. This is definitely not optimal, but we're gonna see if it works anyway. I guess maybe it's more true to life because I didn't actually prepare. We'll say that. we'll say that that was an on purpose. This guy. Thunder. Gotta use that hand axe. It's called strats, good or bad, doesn't matter. That's true. These are desperation strats. And that's how I'm gonna live my life. We're just gonna wait with Curtis. We haven't used Curtis yet. Here. I got this fire tome that I can't do anything with right now. Just take care of him. Also, thanks for coming back, Cake. I really appreciate that. Especially, it's a lot of time to hang out and interact with the chat, so I appreciate you spending some time with me. There's Curtis. Never left. Cat sat on my lap. Aw, cute. I like the cat. Well, anyway, we're gonna lay the smackdown on these purple people. I might turn Halen's animation off, just because it takes a long time. Man, she's getting good levels. Appreciate you, Halen. So we're gonna go solo. Let's see, I think I have everybody on except for Halen. Now there are fortresses on this map, which are good, but I can't reach any of them because none of the guys on this side are flyers. So we will have to go figure that out. Alright, Curtis. almost thought of a kill. We do have to be a little bit careful because I don't think I have many vulneraries on this side. I have one. One. That's it. Alright. It's gonna be a rough day. Ooh, hand axe critical. Just swing it around. That's what we call a discount on your life. Take 10% off the enemy's body. It's just the head. Throw that axe, yes. Absolutely. That's what we want. Exact kill. Very nice. Wall. Who's got res here? Like nobody. Oh boy. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Well, we know that Negu will not get destroyed, and this guy has a thunder. Okay. So not a fire, so it's not effective. We will give her a sword. We will catch up. And I am going to use that vulnerary right now on Sven, just in case. Negu is going to be in the back for a little while, because we're in a scary situation. We're gonna do some really weird strats right here. Everyone loves rescue strats. Just bring an escape rope next time? Yes. I probably should have done that. Boom. What I really need to do is just teach one of these guys dig, and that'll delete the necessity for the escape rope. Or maybe somebody can learn teleport? I don't know. Oh jeez. Sir, a force seems to have broken through the lines. Tamatal, light the beacons and mobilize the garrison. We won't let them take this castle that easy. Or just win. I'm gonna try. This map is a little bit challenging. Mostly because of what I did at the beginning. That's okay. We'll get it. Oh no! Oh no! Are you kidding? That's not allowed. Ooh, one shot. Get out of here. Get out. That sprite looks like a Cthulhu on the map. It does look a little bit crazy. Boom! Oh, that's the first time we've shown Martel's animation. I like how he doesn't wear a shirt, even though his portrait has him wearing a shirt. Big fan. Hello. I didn't check your weapon. Finally, some speed. Where is my two-range sword? I want to throw it back in his face. This will be fine. This is all fine. Be really good to have Nosferatu right now, which gives me back HP. Well, I don't really want to bait anybody else over there. We'll let Nego get this guy. And She can get the village too. Just have the heart of the cards on your side, and with the power of friendship and BS Rainbow Bears, you will be victorious. That is true. I believe in the heart of the cards. I believe in the me that believes in the you that believes in the heart of the cards. Ooh, precise, calculated. Right on the money. Well, I think Sven needs to go this way and pick up Halen and bring him over. We do need to win for the old man. Acting like he's like my dad or something. Maybe. He can't use hand axes yet? What is his axe rank? Sir. Sir, please. I have a family. I need to support them, and your E axe rank is not helping. Oh, I didn't even notice that guy. Darn. No harm, no foul, I guess. Yeah, more reinforcements. It's cool. It's cool. This is fine. I got this. Level 10. Massive level up. Finally got some speed. When do we get... we don't get any reinforcements most of the time. Unfortunately. We'll hang out on this fort for a second. Get a little bit of heals. Just a little. A taste. Okay, well, all he's got. This guy's got a hand axe too? What the hell? We're just gonna hang out for a second. We're fine. We're fine. Let's go to this village. Maybe there's somebody wise here. Oh, no, just a child. Are you fighting the Inquisition? They took many of my friends and my father. Take this. It was his spear. Oh my god, we're getting an heirloom spear. It's an axe reaver. Heck yeah. So reaver weapons in this game reverse the rock, paper, scissors. So usually a lance is bad against axes and this one is not. Alright. Nobody's coming down here. That's good. They were coming. They're coming from the cliffside and that castle. I've got a healer on my Drake. Oh, she is in the way. I just dropped her, but we gotta drop her somewhere else. Alright, that's much better. Much better. But in this rock, paper, scissors world, we need a gun to end it all. It's funny that you say that because there are now guns in technically Fire Emblem because in the mobile gacha game, Fire Emblem Heroes, there is now the summoner, who is, you know, your player character or whatever, and they use what looks like a gun. I don't think they ever call it a gun. But yeah. And then there's some futuristic level stuff that they've got going on as well. But no guns in normal Fire Emblem. Sort of, not really. I wouldn't say that it's canon. I mean, what happens in one Fire Emblem game mostly doesn't affect any other Fire Emblem game. It's just an excuse to put all Fire Emblem games into one mobile game. We shall fight them on 2 fronts and bottleneck them. I see what you're doing here. And we are having none of it, sir. I did see the sword gun, the one that shoots swords. There's one that shoots swords? Where is that? Look at this. That guy's got 0% hit. Ernst is just that dodgy. And I don't mean shady, I mean dodge. Okay. We are going to hang out here for a moment. They can't all hit me at once. He's not fast enough to clear these guys anyway. We're luring them into a trap. Maybe too many of them into a trap. Iron Blade. Okay, buddy. It's from Borderlands, and apparently Punisher had one in a comic. Don't know if that was official or fan-made, though. That's crazy. That's like, I know this is probably not what it is, but what I'm picturing is a longbow, or like a crossbow that just fires swords. Cool, you got defense. It would work, you're right. probably... This is a dicey situation. Well, you might as well use that now. I think if I don't attack, he'll definitely live. So we're gonna do that. Oh yeah. Get a good crit in there. The one from Borderlands shoots something more similar to a straight katana, so more of a spike. Crazy. No! We just game overed. Okay. Damn, it looks like that's all I could... I couldn't even finish a sentence. I mean, like... Considering I didn't even get to pick where anybody went, it is very sad, yeah. So now I'll get to pick where everything goes. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. It's fine. Yes, please. Start. We get to pick who goes, and we'll get to pick what side they're on. And give them vulneraries, for goodness sake. Hand axes for everyone, but right now only Sven can use them. I want him to be able to use one, but I don't know if he's gonna get there this chapter. Can Martel use him? If Martel will be able to use it faster. So let me swap. You get none. And, you know what? You know what? Give me the defense, please. Who has bad luck? Algemus has bad luck. Not as bad as Sven and Curtis, though. It's almost better to increase the luck of characters that have better luck. But we'll give it to Algemus. We're biased. We admit it. Alien doesn't really need this. Bias is only bad in real life. That's why I only use Charizard and Fire Red. That's true. Pick units. I want to bring Beatrice, but who do I bench? I could bench Martel. So while you guys are not going, we will give all your stuff to the convoy. Save this, and we will try again. Now we start. And we see if my preps are any better than just randomly whatever was available. We are going to do the same thing as last time though. And it doesn't work very well. When do I stream normally? Today was the first time you saw me go live. Usually I stream on the weekends. I don't have a schedule very well because I don't have consistent weekends. But usually I'll be streaming on Saturday and sometimes also Sunday. And I'll probably stream more likely in the morning than in the evening. So for me, it was about the time that the first stream went on. This afternoon one is just kind of a bonus. I don't usually stream twice in a day, but I had the time. That's why I don't have a schedule posted. So unfortunately, I don't really have much to say about that. I do try and say something on Twitter, if you use Twitter. If you don't, that's fine, no worries about it. But yeah, I'm a really inconsistent streamer as compared to a very consistent streamer like Slowpoke. Trade. Yeah, well, if you have the little notifications thing turned on, you'll know when I'm going live. But overall, yeah, I know that's not helpful, and I apologize. Hang out here for a second. Oh, really? Just that? Alright. Yes, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I guess so. With the Nuzlocke that I just finished, there was like a 2 or 3 month break where I didn't stream at all. And that was nobody's fault but mine. I just kind of lost motivation for it, I guess you could say. Did I just put Halen in danger? Yes, I did. This is fine. The forest will protect us. Yeah, last year I did a lot of streaming, but it wasn't for Twitch. I streamed on Facebook to friends and family a lot of paintings. So last year when, nobody was going anywhere because of all the stuff happening that I won't talk about, I started painting. Well, I continued painting, and I would do a weekly paint stream for an hour and a half. Yeah, I paint. I like painting in acrylics. I do landscapes. I paint a lot of whales, actually, like humpback whales and orcas and stuff. Very fun. I like painting. It's very calming. Not patient enough for painting. Wanted to try airbrush though. I feel like airbrush would drive me insane. Because that's like, acrylic I can fix. I feel like airbrush is not as easy to fix if something happens. But you know, as our dear friend Bob Ross would say, it's not a mistake. They're all happy accidents. Well, it's not going quite as well over here as it was last time, but that's okay. Yes, Bob Ross emoticon. Absolutely. What does this guy have? Okay. Well, we'll just use this early. She's gonna start a forest fire. I wanted to be able to paint minis, so airbrush is supposed to make a better result than hand brush. Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. I don't know anything about painting minis, but that makes sense to me. I feel like if you were to use a brush, you would see the strokes in the brush, and that would be no bueno. Yeah, but I like using acrylic because it's water soluble, so it's easier to clean up than some other choices you might have. Can I just take care of this guy right now? Nope. We're just gonna hang out here. Halen is too OP for this game. Yes, she is. Alchemist critting is just giving me life. Look at that, 20 crit. I mean, he's not within, he's not in support range right now, even. Unless they changed support range, which I don't think they did. So that support range is like within 3 tiles of the character. If someone they support with is there, they get their bonus or whatever, a couple points bonus. Hey, how about you not die? That'd be pretty sweet. These things sound more and more like tabletop RPG rules. That might be true. That might be true. Also, earlier I said incorrectly that this version of Fire Emblem, the base that this is on, Blazing Blade or Rekken no Ken or Blazing Sword or however you want to call it, Fire Emblem 7 was released in 2009. That is incorrect. It was 2003 was the US release. So that's 6 more years. For whatever that's worth. Trade. Who's got a vulnerary? We have one in here still. Great. We're gonna pass it around. Take a drink and pass it to your right. But first get out of the way. Curtis will be fine, probably. We're gonna leave Sven here another turn. It's fine. Everything is fine. That makes sense actually with the amount of Fire Emblem games they had to make in 10 years. Yeah, I think this might be the, the 25th anniversary of the very first Fire Emblem game. Because I think it was, like 1994 or something like that. Or 96. That the first one came out. And that would be, Marth of Super Smash Bros. Fame. Was the, Lord in that game. Oops, we don't need that. Give that back. Yeah, a lot of the Fire Emblem community was wondering whether there would be some kind of announcement of a remake for any of the games, because it's an anniversary of some parts of the series this year. Like I think a 25th anniversary of maybe Thracia. But Fire Emblem's been around a really long time in some form or another. Alright. Time to drink our vulneraries. Oh, I already have one. Sweet. She's so fast. Halen OP, Halen OP. And you can hang out for one more turn. Okay, yep, disguise again. You know, I think he's very dedicated to the cause. I think he dyed his hair purple. Is Fire Emblem the series with the weird blue slime that gets a controller made out of him for each game? I don't think so. Weird blue slime gets a controller made out of him for each game. I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. I could just be tripping. Oh, I must not have gotten something. Because I can't get this guy now. Last time I was exact damaging. Dragon Quest. Okay. Well, if that's the case, we are staying in this forest. Yeah, my thoughts immediately went to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance when you said blue slime, even though that had nothing to do with turning into a controller. All those blob things that I also don't remember the name of. But as you might imagine, I did play Tactics Advance
because it is very similar to Fire Emblem. One of these days maybe I'll play a stream or two of that. It's been a while. Curtis, are you gonna die? I don't know. Well, we blocked one reinforcement. And now that we have Beatrice here, we have somebody who can soak this hit. They are making glacial progress on both sides here. I'll send you a picture link, it's weird. Yeah, please do. I think you're in Slowpoke's Discord as well, so I'm in there, you can find me there, shoot me something on Discord. Ooh, Curtis. 99. But he did get a weapon level increase, so that's nice. Ooh, look at that crit. My whole body glows right before I destroy you and your purple dragon. I wonder if they dye their dragons in order to make sure that they comply with their standard coloring scheme. Oh, he's got a sword. I am asking the big questions. I need to know how dedicated they are to their cause of being purple. Is it worth it for them to be purple and for me to be red? Or is this all just a shell game? Alrighty. Gonna hang out for a sec. Get some heals. We only ask the big questions, such as, do you want to throw something back at somebody who threw something at you? They might just use magic to bend the light. That would be pretty impressive, and I would want to know how to do that, so that I could do that for everything from now on. For the end of all time. Heal, baby. Look at this sneaky guy. This is why I didn't see him up here. Look at this guy. He thinks he's hiding. Alright, we're gonna put Ernst here. Hides in the corner all edgy and stuff. Oh, he's got a purple dragon. What did we expect? Yeah, I mean, I guess we know that Sven isn't a murderer because his dragon is green. And that must be a good guy color, right? That's how it works. I say with the confidence of someone who knows what they're talking about. Yes, yes. I will take your heirloom spear. Depends on the universe. It's true. Well, you're gonna weapon triangle me no matter what I equip. So I'll equip an axe. The only bad dragons I know of are the Lich dragons, the other are just hot-headed or posh. What is a Lich dragon? Is this something I should know? Oh look, it's this guy again. Is it true? Has Tercio's daughter finally returned? If you truly fight for her, I implore you to take this. A wavering old man's voice. What did I just get? The speed wings? Okay. If I go up here, I think they could still hit me. Oh no, this guy. Okay, is a javelin. We're fine. Probably. Just in case, I'm gonna take this speed wings and that from you. I'm going to give you a hand axe. I don't really like this call. He might die. So 11, 10, 2. Oh boy. Well, let's hope he misses. Let's hope that he misses. Miss. Oh, we're good. We're good. A dragon that died but magically attached its soul to other dead dragon bodies to live forever, but sacrifices all that can be called thought and reason for life and end up just going around killing all it sees on instinct. Oh my god. That's scary. For some reason that reminded me of Naruto. And I don't know if you watch Naruto or read it or watched it as a kid or something, but that snake guy, Orochimaru, just taking other people's bodies to try and live forever, but he's got to do it every 3 years, like his warranty's up or something, which is kind of funny, honestly. Hang out here for a minute. I'll give you back this vulnerary if you leave right now. Watch Naruto, not Shippuden, and that snake dude is creepy as... Yeah, he really is. And the weird part about it was like they built him up to be like this crazy villain for the whole series. And then like after that first arc in like Naruto Main, he wasn't the villain anymore. He just like stopped. And they made somebody else the villain. And I was like, that's weird. Was not expecting that. And he got invited to... He did? See, like, I have never seen... What is it? Boruto? Afterwards? He got invited to his wedding? What kind of messed up... Okay. Alright then. That's just bonkers. Like, he's just friends... They're just friends now? You traumatize the youth, but then you can be friends later? There's so many things and plot holes in that show / manga. I can't even begin to figure out what they meant to do. You missed. It's like in Mario where Bowser gets to play Mario Kart with everyone. Yeah, I feel like that's in a slightly separate universe. That's like if you assume that the rest of the Mario games are like part of a show or part of a movie or something. And this is like after hours where they're not on set anymore and they're all like friends. So they just play silly car games with each other. But you have to first make that assumption that everything that's happening in Mario is like scripted. That makes sense lore-wise. Have you ever played... I played the demo for WarioWare, and it brought me back. I had the WarioWare for, I think it was Game Boy Advance, and it's just a bunch of like really, really, really weird mini games. And it was always fun. Is it $60 worth of fun even with the updates? Not really. Not my cup of tea. But yeah, no, the Wario games, they're all like 20-second games basically. And they're all really, really weird. Like whatever it is that you're doing, you're like pulling out nose hairs or, you know, making a nose suck back in some drippy snot. It's just really, really bizarre and weird. And they kept that for the new games. But in the new one, in the new WarioWare, like you actually can play as some of the other characters, which I don't think was what you did in the old GBA one. So that's kind of neat, but I still didn't think it was like worth the same amount of money as like a full other game on the Switch. But you can definitely lose hours and hours and hours to WarioWare. Can confirm. Saw a bit on a full Wario game, but they kept complaining that it was more of a kid's acid trip than a Mario game. Yeah, that's pretty accurate actually. Is this a transversable space? No. Okay, good. Because I don't want people to transverse it. Traverse. Transverse. Traverse. But the WarioWare game has always been like that. Like, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be super, super weird. And there was, like, a live-action version of what I would consider, like, it wasn't related to Mario or to Wario at all. But there used to be this show on TV that was called, in English it was called, I Survived a Japanese Game Show, but I think the actual show in Japan, and they did have it in subtitles and everything, I think the actual name of the show was called Majide, which I think means, are you for real or really? And they just did really crazy, messed up stuff to the contestants. Like, you know, you had to do an obstacle course, but the obstacle course is covered in baby oil. And some of the obstacles are like sumo wrestlers and everything. It was nuts. And I love that show because it was just so weird. And I feel like WarioWare is the equivalent of that on a game console. It's from the 80s? I think they brought it back because I was watching it probably in the early 2000s and then it wasn't on TV anymore. But for a little while it was back. I just think it's much more fun than like the same old tired, oh yeah, Ernst Crit. The same old tired game shows where it's like another singing competition where it's, you know, it's this or that type of, words are failing me right now. Yeah, it ran in the early 2000s in the West, but they were from like the 80s, like the Is It Food or Furniture that you saw a video. Yeah. Food or Furniture is also funny, because I enjoy watching people's faces scrunch up when they realize something isn't food, or like just in anticipation of it not being food, because they chose something really gross to try and like lick or bite into. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo for liking those things, but I think it's good fun. It doesn't really hurt anybody. Hey, use a loner, please. Well, I hope that nothing is so serious that they would get PTSD from it. But I do like watching people be a little bit uncomfortable, because I'm often a little bit uncomfortable. I think a lot of people are. So watching other people have that experience is human, I think. You hit a 42? Come on. You're supposed to miss. Like that. Alright, Curtis. Okay, I see you. I see you. Oh, support. Sane. Ah, Kent. Yeah, those aren't their names, but that is Kent's portrait over there on the left, and that is a generic Pegasus rider over on the right. So this Murder Hobo campaign is going better than last time. That is true. I also took it a little bit slower than last time. And I would hope it would go better, seeing as I've picked where and what I wanted people to hold. Still nothing. He can use a javelin. Look at you go, Curtis. All grown up. Attacking people. Well, don't like those odds. Maybe we should throw something at him. That worked. So I'm arguing if I'm going to get the new Metroid game. Love the Super Metroid and Fusion one, and it seems similar. I don't know anything about Metroid, but I do have a lot of friends that like Metroid, and I've seen good things from them so far. I don't know if you know or have watched Spud Hero, who used to do a lot of like Pokemon streams here, and some retro streams for older games. But they posted something on Twitter that they had to like remind themselves to go get food and everything because they just forgot. They were playing Metroid and they just loved it so much that they just forgot about food, and they highly recommended it. So take that for what it will. I know nothing about Metroid, but apparently they were so engrossed in the game that they just forgot what time it was, and they played for such a long time they missed a meal. And that was, I think, today. Earlier today. Yeah, a little extreme maybe, but I've had that happen too, especially with like new stuff, especially if it's Fire Emblem stuff or Pokemon stuff, that I'll like look up and I'll see the time and I'll just say, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. Oh, she can't even use the Axe Reaver. She's my only Lance. Well, she's not my only Lance user. I got these guys over here. They can use it. Do that. But anyway, that was one review that I've seen that I didn't intend to see, but I saw it anyway. The only time I don't get food is when the cat traps me. I think they like to torture you. Well, hopefully they don't like to torture you. And they just like being in your company, and you're too polite to move the cat to go get your food. This is going much, much better than last time. I can guarantee it. If it weren't going better, I would be concerned about my strats. What about my strats concern you? I'm curious. Ooh. Thunder. Very nice. Well, it's going better, so nothing for now. I guess I'll have to accept that. Get him over here so Halen can heal him. Not really in a position to tell me how to play. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Oh, he still can't use it. Is it C? It's C. Do you have C? You do. Give me that. We'll just leave Sven there. It's fine. Okay, not gonna move. That's fine. Fine by me. Yeah. And like I said, with that misclick earlier, and we just started without doing any kind of preps, we were somewhat guaranteed to have an issue or two. Oh, see, he's got an axe reaver, but I have a sword, so it's moot. Misclick. Oh, come on. I like a challenge, but even I wouldn't give myself a challenge like that. I did do a challenge run on my actual, like, physical copy of... can you use this? No. You can't use anything. My physical copy of Fire Emblem 7, and that one, I challenged myself to only use female characters, plus whatever the lord was and whoever the thief was, because the thief, there's only one of them for most of the game. And I actually was able to beat the game that way. So I may or may not do a challenge run at some point doing that for a different Fire Emblem game, or maybe the same one, because I like Fire Emblem 7 probably the best out of all the ones I've played. I find it has the most replayability for me. But I thought that was fun. Definitely a good challenge because there are very few female characters. There are randomizers for this, and you can randomize it so that your character can end up with any class. So I might do some randomizers for this too, but not for the ROM hack. I think it might break the ROM hack if I were to try and do that. Okay. But yeah, I have played some randomizations of these GBA games on my own, and you end up with some weird things. So like the cleric character in that game, she ended up being a pirate, and her palette looked awful. Like the palettes, their numbers don't correspond to the same type of thing. So like sometimes characters that got reclassed into a cavalry unit ended up with like a blue horse just because of how their palette got switched around when they changed classes. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, randomizers for Fire Emblem is definitely an interesting way to go because you can get growths randomized, bases reshuffled, and everything. Have I seen the game Miitopia? I know about Mii's. I don't know if I've seen the game Miitopia. We are going to win. That is why this music is playing. Sven just chilling on his little fortress. No man is an island except for Sven. It's an RPG Mii game where you and your friends and family are the entire cast. That's crazy. I don't think I have enough friends. You shall not take this castle. Come, break your weapons upon me. I'm gonna hit you with magic, bro. Watch my magic break you. Get him, Beatrice. And easy pickings. Well, I think I want to give this to Algemis. Boom! Right in your purple dragon face. Ostrich, I have failed you. Nice level. Still a little weak on the strength side. An Earth Seal. So that's a promotion item. And I guess, yeah, so anybody who's level 10 or above can use that. So in this case it would probably be Ernst more than anybody, but he's fine right now as he is. And next turn we can seize, and that is the end of this map. Although, if we have anybody else to heal, I might get 1 or 2 more heals for Halen so that she can be the one who switches. How close is she? I don't think I have 7. This might seem like a waste, but if Halen promotes, then she can use magic and also attack or defend herself. Yeah, whoop! Oh, that's a really cute Pikachu emote. I like that. have too many random gift subs, so I have to use them while I have them. That's true. That's true. Every time I watch some streamers, somebody ends up gift subbing me stuff. So if you've seen like the Squirtle and the Charmander ones. The castle is ours, Captain. I'm surprised, Hap. I didn't think you'd handle that as well as you did. Well, I clearly didn't handle it very well the first time, because you surprised me. Something like this is nothing put against my father's strategies. Always a dude's strategies, thanks. Well, if they work that well, why think up any new ones? Still, we might have gotten here too fast. I'd say it was just fast enough. Seems that name of yours isn't just for show. Who are you? Oh, I'm just another merc like you. Name's Magnus. Wait, Magnus? As in Magnus the Red Wind? I never really liked that nickname. Well, I'll be damned. I never thought I'd get the chance to fight with the Red Wind mercenaries. You're famous even in Woodrun. Well, I don't like to brag, but we have been doing well for ourselves. Oh, she's cute. Magnus, we're being called for. On the way, Denitsa. Now, I don't know if this was meant to be Danica, but I actually know someone whose name was spelled this way, and her name was Denitsa, so I'm gonna say Denitsa. And anybody who doesn't like it can deal. Good talking with you fellas. Excuse me, my lord. Man, everyone's sneaking up on us today. What does it cost her? Apparently, Her Highness is about to give a speech. General Valborg requests us to observe. Do we have to? It's clearly just damn. That's probably true. This is part of the job as well, Captain. Sign us up for this. We got like 10 people hanging out and a giant general there. You can see on the right. People of Tulum. On these steps I, Clara, daughter of the late King Tercio, stand here not as a commoner, but as your rightful ruler. I have seen what the king, my uncle Cortez, has ruined with his power, allowing Zentirum to defile our lands and its culture. Its inquisition roams our land, burning our homes and destroying our families, all in the pursuit of a defunct foe. I stand here at the very foundation of our country to ask for your help. For the good of our land, I must ask you to risk your lives for a purpose, to be as my sword and my shield as I lay my soul before the spear. You will be the heroes that will liberate our land. You will be the ones that stand before Cortez in arms. My people, I ask you from the bottom of my heart, save this great land we call home. Alright. I like that they added in a little cheer noise. Just die for me, will ya? That's pretty much what she said. But apparently she has a strong aura about her. Seems a great deal of people here share her opinion. They really want to die on the sword. This will serve us well. We always could use some more cannon fodder, I guess. I trust that my lord also shares her perspectives. I guess? Well, at least he doesn't say yes outright. Best not bring it up, Coster. Alchemist keeps up with politics only if it earns him coin. That's true. Hap. Surely you have something to say. I have many things to say. I'm, also fairly disconnected, albeit interested? Hey Hap, did you notice anything strange in that battle? Not that I'm aware of. Actually, something about some of the enemy troops seemed off. Yeah, some of them took notice of you and went for your head. Well, more than one usually would. They had hate in their eyes. I believe that I can answer that. Gah! Your Majesty, would you please stop doing that? Is she like grabbing his butt or something? Or is it just sneaking up on him? I'm not sure I will. It is quite amusing. Regardless, those men were probably the Inquisition. If you look to your first encounter, they probably showed the same fervor. I guess you're right, thinking back on it. Would it be because of my dark magic? I hear they hunt its practitioners down with quite the doggedness. Precisely. If you are not familiar with the history of Zentirum, it was once a small cluster of city-states. They were well off, that is until the Mad King Andros of Lotir decided they must be eliminated for some imagined insult. It almost came to be until Zentir himself decided to descend from the heavens and help defeat Andros. After their victory, the Empire was formed and has lasted to this day. That's all very interesting, but what does it have to do with them hating dark magic? When Zentir ascended back to the heavens, he gave a warning. Beware of a darkness that will rise from within your very heart, for it will destroy all that you have built. Having just defeated an extremely powerful dark magician, they quickly assumed it was referring to the coming of an equally powerful one. That explains much. Thank you for the history lesson, Your Majesty. Think nothing of it. If things go according to plan, we shall have time to rest before we move again. Castle Jenna. And that's the report, Your Highness. So, a girl claiming to be Tercio's daughter has appeared. Does she look to throw the kingdom into chaos? Oh gosh, I can't. I don't even know what voice I would give this guy. Seems you have a problem, Cortez. Oh, General Jormund, I did not notice you. How goes your inspection? I found many things about which to complain. Maybe like a Matthew McConaughey, I don't know. It would also seem you have a rebellion on your hands. Oh, yes. How such a thing has happened is beyond me. Might I request some of your reinforcements from the Emperor? Huh. So you may sit in your castle and do nothing? No, of course not. It's just... You are probably aware of my origins, so let me tell you a Braxian saying. If you are strong, but you fear the weak, then you have no right to survive them, for they are your betters. What? You... I shall tell the Emperor of your message. Hope that he deigns it in Zentir's interest to aid you, for you'll not receive any from me, you weakling. That's weird. The nerve of that barbarian. He is so extra, right? I would have him silenced if not for his position. Who on Lanciel was that, my giant, my liege? Who's that giant? Who's the giant? A mere dog from that accursed island of raiders and pirates, Braxis. How one such as himself rose to the position of general in a mere 4 years is beyond me. No matter, we must crush these rebels immediately. I shall not let anyone take Ostric's throne from me. There is so much going on, and there are so many names being thrown. I don't even know. But yeah, he's super extra. Cool. Alright. I'm gonna leave it here. So, since this was the second stream today, and the other one was also about this long, I'm gonna cut this one here as well. I'm gonna be back on this. I will be back tomorrow. I will stream sometime tomorrow, hopefully in the morning, so around the same time as last time. And yeah, that was this chapter. We're probably gonna take it chapter by chapter unless I really have, or unless one is really short or something. Just because they do take some time, and if I have to reset, that is just a lot of additional time talking. And like I said, these cutscenes are sometimes a little bit long. So yeah, thank you for hanging out, Cake, and anybody else who popped in and was lurking around. And yeah, I will try my best not to die before tomorrow. We shall see. So thank you again, and have a great night. See ya.